The Astronomical Society of Victoria with the regular Friday night broadcast coming to you from the studios of VK3CSJ, Narre Warren South, broadcasting on prime frequency of VK of 3541 kilohertz in the 80 meter amateur radio band, and also by the Melbourne television repeater VK3RTV digital channel 1 HD, and also via my YouTube channel if it hangs in there. You can find it by typing in VK3CSJ in the Google, in the YouTube search engine, and look for the live indicator, and hopefully we will hang in there, that the stream won't fall over, at least for the duration. Good evening everybody on this 24th of November, very close to a new month, last month of the year. How quickly this year has gone. All right, now I very hastily put a few articles together in the last 45 minutes. I was mucking around trying to work out where the hum was coming from. I think I've fixed that problem, so if anybody is got a good signal of me and can take a quick listen to see if there's any hum, if they can hear the hum over the lightning crashes. But from what I can hear in the headphones, I think I've found the issue. There's a linear 12 volt supply that I use for powering some monitors here, 12 volt monitors, and it was also powering the little EQ mixer that I have just prior to the Pro 3. And yeah, I just decided at the last moment to remove that power supply from the scheme of things, and it seemed to fix it up. So I'm now using another power supply on this, and it seems to have fixed it. There's some residual hum there I can hear, but it's much lower down. We also have a email address if people wish to send an email today, vk3ekh@gmail.com, vk3ekh@gmail.com. And we also have a Discord chat window, so if you type in Discord in the favourite search engine, whatever that might be, and type in Discord, and I think all you have to do from there is search for Astronomy Chat Room. I think that's all it is that finds it, Astronomy Chat Room. So I always just keep the page open on the other computer here, so I don't worry about it. Anyway, all right. We have a few articles, like I say. We also have a 16-minute report from Tamitha. She's, I was going to say over the moon, but probably over the sun on recent activity. So I'll put her on in with time to spare. So I'll kick off with a quick rundown, like I usually do, for the Astronomical Society, of which this broadcast is on behalf of. It's been running since 1988, and run by Russell Ward, VK3DRW, for the first 20 years on this frequency, every Friday night, and then taken over by me about, I don't know, I can't even remember now, 12 years ago. I think it's now been doing it off and on. I've got 4 weeks off over Christmas. My leave is from the 18th of December through to the 15th, so I'll probably end up taking at least at minimum 3, but possibly 4 weeks off from the broadcast on Friday night here. So yeah, I'll keep reminding you right up until the last Friday. But yeah, I'll be shutting down the broadcast facilities here for at least 3 weeks, or maybe 4, depends. There's a few things I want to try and do with the Radio Shack here, so it could be very much dismantled Anyway, we'll see. Okay. The Astronomical Society of Victoria was founded in 1922. It comprises well over 1,600 members throughout Victoria and Australia and overseas. Membership of the Society is open to all persons with an interest in astronomy. The Society's objectives are to encourage the study and practice of astronomy, to disseminate the knowledge of the science, and to provide greater facilities for this study among its members. Monthly meetings are usually held on the second Wednesday of each month, except in January, the latter being held on a Saturday night. Meetings start at 8 p.m. at the Mulia Hall, National Herbarium, Burwood Avenue, Melbourne, near the Melbourne Observatory, which is located not too far from the Shrine of Remembrance. Parking is available in Burwood Avenue, Dallas Brooks Drive, and the surrounding streets. Admission is free and visitors are most welcome. The monthly meeting is also broadcast on the ASV's YouTube channel and I think also via Zoom. Privileges of membership include the right to borrow books, periodicals and other... Oh, it's Facebook, actually, not Zoom. Facebook. ASV has their own ASV page. And so the monthly meetings broadcast not only on the dedicated YouTube channel, but also on the dedicated Facebook channel. So people can type in questions if there's any presentations going on. Privileges of membership include the right to borrow books, periodicals and other publications from the Society's extensive library located at the Melbourne Observatory. Receipt of the ASV's magazine Crux, containing articles, news, observing notes, and free provision of the Astronomical yearbook. Access is available to telescopes on members' nights, held regularly at the Melbourne Observatory, and after the monthly meetings weather permitting. These instruments include the Society's 300mm equatorial reflector and a 300mm portable reflector. There's also a 200mm refractor managed by the Royal Botanic Gardens, and a photoheliograph are also housed at the observatory and are accessible to members as well. The Society also has a number of 200mm reflectors available for short period loan under the ASV's loan scheme, telescope loan scheme. Members are also encouraged to make use of the Society's country property located near Heathcote, some 90-minute drive north of Melbourne. There are a number of instruments available for members to use, the larger two with appropriate training, and they range from 300mm to 1000mm in aperture. Also located on the site is an 8.5 fully steerable radio telescope which members can access with involvement in the radio astronomy section. Members are encouraged to make and use telescopes. Advice and help on both matters are provided willingly to newcomers desiring to do the same. Instrument making is only one of a number of common interest activities catered for within the Society. There are now 21 sections that make up the ASV. And let me just quickly run through those while I've got the page open. Sections. Where are we? There we go. Alright, so we have in alphabetical order: astrophotography, the club section, comet and meteor section, computing section, cosmology and astrophysics, deep sky, historical section, instrument making, juniors, lunar and planetary, new astronomers group, radio astronomy section, solar astronomy, space exploration section, and women in the ASV. You can find all those sections on the ASV website under ASV, www.asv.org.au, and click on the sections, and you find all those sections. And then you click on each section, and that opens up another page which gives you a bit of a rundown of what is going on and who to contact if you wish to come in and sit in on a meeting as a visitor. You can do that, and then you can discuss, if you wish, how to become a member. Apart from all that, further information may be obtained by visiting the ASV website at www.asv.org.au, and yes, or you can write to the ASV at the Secretary, Astronomical Society of Victoria, GPO Box 1059, Melbourne, Victoria 3001. ASV will conform to all government health directives where required. ASV events may be required to be cancelled, moved or postponed due to circumstances. That's a quick rundown of the Astronomical Society of Victoria. And of course there's a whole bunch of astronomical societies around the place. Just seeing if that's... I used to be able to go through a whole bunch of societies. I'm just checking the homepage right now. I can't seem to quickly find those other societies. I won't worry about it right now. But yeah, anyway, there's a bunch of societies all around the place. In fact, I just recently signed up as a member on the Facebook page for the Astronomical Society of Geelong. Excuse me. So interesting to keep an eye on their Facebook page. Okay, it's 14 past the hour, and let me kick off. There's just a handful of articles, so if I finish up early, that's fine by me, because I'm feeling pretty tired. This is VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, VK3 EKH, and let me just quickly check my email and make sure that there's no one that's sent an email in. And we have a checking in. G'day, Andrew. He's checked in, VK3KIS. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yep, no problem, Andrew. That's fine. Yep, sorry to hear that news. Not good, is it? It's always something, isn't it? Okay, thanks, Andrew. And we've got Uncle Wayne there. He says, I can't hear the hum, which is good. No worries. He says 80 meter signal was great before talking to Steve. Now down with intermittent. Yeah, have I got the linear on? Yeah, no, I'm running the linear now. Hello. Oh, maybe not. Hang on a sec. Hello. 1 2. Oh, that's strange. Oh, sorry, what was that, Tony? Oh, okay, that's interesting. Just bear with me for a sec. For some reason the linear hasn't fired up. I wonder why that is. Hang on a sec. The PTT's working on it. Let me just where are we? Hang on a sec. I just want to select a different camera at the moment. Just hang 10 for a sec, ladies and gentlemen, while I select a different camera. Okay, that's all right. 1, 2. Harlow. 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 Ah, okay. Yeah, I kind of mucked around with a few things here, and that's going to 80 metres. Just checking my cable connections here, ladies and gentlemen. That should be the output of the linear. No, this should be working. That should be working, from what I can tell. For for 204. That's interesting. Oh, what the hell is going on? For Harlow. I tell you, if it's not an audio issue, it's got to be something else. Harlow. Just wind that up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. It's very hard when the power meter's behind me here. I've got to twist my head. Harlow. 4. God damn it. Four. Things that make you go, Alright, well, I haven't interrupted my stream, so I think I'm okay. Another report, Wayne. Things should be okay, but maybe not. Where's my mouse? I've lost my mouse. There we go. Alright. I've done nothing. I've done nothing. Wouldn't it bother you? Let me just run a carrier. Just hang. I apologise for this break in transmission, ladies and gentlemen, but I just need to run a little bit of AM. Where am I? I just got to drop off. Harlow. Okay, that's me on AM. Oh, doesn't look good at all. Well, I'll be stuffed. Well, wouldn't bother you. I'll go back to sideband. One, two, three, four, 5. 1, 2, 4, 4. Harlow. Still don't think I'm putting out full power though. Harlot. Oh. Okay, I've taken out the linear, and I'm just running barefoot. So according to the Pro 3, I'm kicking it up to over 100 watts. The SWR is good. So I'm just running barefoot at the moment, and but my power meter is telling me something else up there, so I don't know. Anyway, it's always something. Live radio, that is for sure. G'day, Graham. Alright, let me just check my email again. There might be a recent one that's just come through. Now it's crap again. Alright, so hang on, let me see. I've already got a report here saying that you seem to be without a signal. 4, you still really low. Okay, it's just come up when you said it was not an audio issue. Now it's fine, fixed. Now it's crap again. An intermediate fault is without question with the issue. Goes up and down. And now I hear you say you have taken out the linear. Yes, it now sounds fine. Touch nothing. Yeah, I think you're right. I'll leave it alone right now. Oh my God. Goodness me. That linear, you can probably see it just over the back of me there. Hang on. That one, just for those watching the video side of it, that FL2100B. It's been a beautiful linear. It's worked absolutely magnificent. But maybe there's something it's decided to protest, so I've turned it off, and we're bypassed it right now, so we'll leave it alone for the time being. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3EKH. Now we're just going to go straight into the article I was about to get into. Sorry about all that. Goodness me. Just lost you on YouTube. Martin VK7JH tells me he's just lost me on YouTube. Reloaded and okay. Your level just came up on 80 to normal, then dropped again. Yeah, maybe it's all this thunderstorm activity going on. Anyway, this is a nice and quick article. I'm going to make sure that I leave plenty of time for Tamitha. Courtesy of astronomy.com. What time is it on Mars? To keep track of time on the red planet, astronomers use a Mars clock with 24 Mars hours based on the planet's rotation. What is the local Martian time? Mars doesn't yet have an official calendar or time zones like we have on Earth. The only officially designated time unit on the red planet is the Sol, which is defined like the day is on Earth, one full planetary rotation on its axis. But for planning and data analysis, scientists and engineers working on Mars missions still need some way to figure out what time it is, not here on Earth, but there at a particular place on that planet. So just like on Earth, we can divide a Martian Sol into different time zones, local Martian times, if you will. In order to keep Mars time familiar to those of us back on Earth, one can tally time on each Sol using a Mars clock with 24 Mars hours. These Mars hours are often called solar hours because they track the sun's position in the red planet sky. For example, 12 noon local Mars time is when the sun is highest in the sky at that specific place. A new Sol begins at 12 midnight local Mars solar time. Because Mars rotates on its axis just a little bit slower than Earth does, though, a Sol on Mars is 2.75% longer than a day on Earth, 24 hours, 39 minutes and 35 seconds. So expressed in Earth time, on Mars, each solar hour is 1 hour, 1 minute, 39 seconds long, or 1/24th of a sol. Each sol minute is 61.65 seconds long, and each sol second is 1.0275 seconds long. This small difference makes life challenging for those of us back on Earth living on Mars time. And though our lander and rover, doesn't matter. So, for example, if we need to start rover operations 3 hours after local sunrise every sol, we need to start at noon Earth time on a Monday. We'll start around 12:37 p.m. on Tuesday, then 1:15 p.m. on Wednesday, 1:52 p.m. on Thursday, etc. Within a few weeks, we are working late night shifts Earth time, and then a few weeks later we're back into regular workday hours. It's confusing and psychologically challenging to live on Earth and work on local Martian time, but it's also great fun. So I can just imagine the special clocks they probably have set up in NASA for Martian time. Anyway, there it is. That was courtesy of astronomy.com and Ask Astro. What time is it on Mars? There's a galaxy called NGC 7727. NGC 7727's cosmic merger foreshadows our own future, it seems. A closer look at NGC 7727 shows what will likely happen to the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies when they collide several million years from now. And there is an image here that I can bring up of that. Okay, there's She Blows. This is called Gemini South. One half of the International Gemini Observatory, operated by the NSF's Nori Lab, captures the billion-year-old aftermath of a double spiral galaxy collision, courtesy of the International Gemini Observatory. So this is a real image. So lying 90 million light years away in Aquarius, two galaxies in the midst of a cosmic merger were recently studied using the Gemini South telescope in Chile. Astrophysicists captured streams of swirling gas and dust in NGC 7727, a peculiar galaxy containing two supermassive black holes separated by 1600 light years. The result is a mixture of active star-forming regions and clouds intertwining with the galaxy's features into what looks like a hazy ball of cotton candy. NGC 7727 is very unusual in that it's essentially an ordinary barred spiral, save for the peculiarity of a binary black hole center. A 2021 study published in Astronomy and Astrophysics found that the supermassive black holes were the closest pair to Earth ever detected. Astronomers measured the masses of the two black holes by looking at how the gravitational pull around them disturbs the movement of stars near them. The more massive of the two weighs in at 154 million times the mass of our Sun, while the other measures in at 6.3 million solar masses. While the pair are currently 1.6 light years apart, 1,600 light years apart, the black holes are expected to merge within the next 250 million years. When they do, the merger will create a single black hole with a mass exceeding 160 million solar masses. The galaxy's unusual structure has a long history, The black holes have pulled together vast amounts of stars and dust, creating the knotted spiral arms we see. One result is that the dust lanes bloom with newborn stars. Ultimately, astronomers believe NGC 7727 will transform into an elliptical galaxy that contains old, reddish stars and hosts little star formation, unlike its former barred spiral self. The result is that astrophysicists suspect will happen to the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies when they collide several billion years from now. This is VK3EKH, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, with the regular Friday night cast missions. Okay, is gravity instantaneous, you might wonder? Astronomers currently believe that gravity travels at the speed of light. In Isaac Newton's theory of gravity, the gravitational attraction between two objects is proportional to the product of their masses divided by the distance between them squared, and this attraction acts with no delay or lag. Oh, there's a picture here too I can bring up. I've got a little picture associated with this article. There it is, and there I am. Okay. This image on the screen right now is an artist's concept. Shows neutron stars merging in a kilonova seen with both light and gravitational waves in 2017. The observations show that both light and gravity travel at the same speed. Getting back to the article. Okay, so and this attraction acts with no delay or lag. From this, you can derive all sorts of characteristics of celestial objects, including the motion of planets around the Sun. These orbital predictions matched observations perfectly, which led us to believe for centuries that the gravity travelled instantaneously. All this changed at the start of the 20th century with Einstein's theory of special relativity, which states that the distances between objects and the passage of time depend on the relative motion of an observer. This is inconsistent with Newton's gravitational law and the observed orbits of the planets. This led Einstein to develop general relativity, which describes both the relativistic motions of gravity, and in general relativity, gravity travels at the speed of light instead of instantaneously. Once relativistic effects are accounted for, general relativity also accurately predicts the orbits of planets around the Sun. Einstein published the general theory of relativity in 1915, and since then it has spectacularly passed every test we have thrown at it. The simplest and most convincing observation that gravity travels at the speed of light came in 2017, when both gravitational waves and light were observed from a merger of two neutron stars. Despite travelling more than 100 million light years, the two signals arrived at Earth only 1.7 seconds apart, and this means the speed of light and the speed of gravity differ by no more than 1 part in a quadrillion. In other words, they differ by no more than 0.0000000000001%. I think I got all those zeros right. Is gravity instantaneous? Well, pretty close. You're tuned to VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, with the regular Friday night cast coming to you from the studios of VK3 CSJ. Next on the list here, thanks Wayne for this one. NASA's Voyager team focuses on software patch thrusters, October 20. And I've got a picture of Voyager here. It's a nice picture of Voyager, actually. It looks pretty good. It's an artist's concept, though. All right. NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft is depicted in this artist's concept travelling through interstellar space, or the space between the stars, which it entered in 2012. Travelling on a different trajectory to its twin Voyager 2, and which entered interstellar space in 2018. Okay. Just check my vmix. Where am I? My vmix. Yeah, bring it up. There it is. Yep. Cool. This article now, keeping an eye on my time. The efforts should help extend the lifetimes of the agency's interstellar explorers. Engineers for NASA's Voyager mission are taking steps to help make sure both spacecraft launched in 1977 continue to explore interstellar space for years to come. One effort addresses fuel residue that seems to be accumulating inside narrow tubes in some of the thrusters on the spacecraft. The thrusters are used to keep each spacecraft's antenna pointed at Earth. This type of buildup has been observed in a handful of other spacecraft. The team is also uploading a software patch to prevent the reoccurrence of a glitch that arose on Voyager 1 last year. Engineers resolved the glitch, and the patch is intended to prevent the issue from occurring again in Voyager 1 or arising in its twin Voyager 2. The thrusters on Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 are primarily used to keep the spacecraft antennas pointed at Earth in order to communicate. Spacecraft can rotate in 3 directions, up and down, to the left and right, and around the central axis, like a wheel. As they do this, the thrusters automatically fire and reorient the spacecraft to keep their antennas pointed at Earth. Propellant flows to the thrusters via fuel lines and then passes through smaller lines inside the thrusters called propellant inlet tubes that are 25 times narrower than the external fuel lines. Each thruster firing adds tiny amounts of propellant residue, leading to a gradual buildup of material over decades. In some of the propellant inlet tubes, the buildup is becoming significant. To slow that buildup, the mission has begun letting the 2 spacecraft rotate slightly farther in each direction before firing the thrusters. This will reduce the frequency of thruster firings. The adjustments to the thruster rotation range were made by commands sent in September and October, and they allow the spacecraft to move almost 1 degree farther in each direction than in the past. The mission is also performing longer firings, which will further reduce the total number of firings done on each spacecraft. The adjustments have been carefully devised to ensure minimal impact on the mission, while more rotating by the spacecraft could mean bits of data, science data, are occasionally lost, akin to being on a mobile phone call where the person on the other end cuts out occasionally. The team concluded the plan will enable the Voyagers to return more data over time. There's a little bit more to that article. Engineers can't know for sure when the thrusters' propellant inlet tubes will become completely clogged, but they are expected that with these precautions, that won't happen for at least 5 or more years, possibly much longer. The team can take additional steps in coming years to extend the lifetime of the thrusters even more. This far into the mission, the engineering team is being faced with a lot of challenges for which we just don't have a playbook, says Linda Splicker, project scientist for the mission at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Southern California, but they continue to come up with creative solutions. I think I'll just leave that one there. This is VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria. And this article, which probably won't have too much of an effect down here in the Southern Hemisphere, but there's an asteroid that will cover Betelgeuse and may reveal its visible surface. Astronomers are gearing up for an unusual celestial event, an asteroid's occultation of a total covering of an iconic star. And I've got a picture of Orion here. Oh, I've still got Voyager up. Where's me Orion picture? Orion. There we are. There's Orion. a very, very familiar constellation in the sky. So I'll run through this quickly. Imagine your favourite constellation without one of its brightest stars. For a brief moment on December 12, this may happen to Orion, at least for viewers in a narrow stretch from Central Asia, Southern Europe to Florida and Mexico. Around 0117 UTC, December the 11th, the main belt asteroid 319 Liana will pass in front of Betelgeuse, the red star of Orion's shoulder, and block its light for a few seconds. An occultation of a first magnitude star is rare. Such an event is visible from Earth only very few decades, but watching one can give astronomers valuable scientific information by precisely timing the duration of the occultation from many sites simultaneously. They can refine their knowledge of the size and shape of the asteroid. They may even be able to map Betelgeuse's strangely large convective cells, by which the star brightens and darkens for months at a time. Betelgeuse is the 10th brightest star in our sky, magnitude plus magnitude 0.5, so observers need only modest equipment to participate. And I've got a picture here of where that occultation will likely be, as you can see, for those watching the video side of it. That narrow line across the northern hemisphere is where you'll see total occultation of that asteroid on the Earth. So we won't really affect us too much down here in the southern hemisphere, but for those that are up in the northern hemisphere, I reckon this will be a rather interesting event for sure. There's a bit more to this article, but I just haven't got the time to read that one out. Thanks, Wayne, for that one. Okay, there was one more, but right now I am going to go to Tamitha, because her solar report is 16 minutes. So I'll just time it so it finishes it nicely at 11 o'clock. So stand by for Tamitha Scove, the Space Weather Woman.
Our sun gets crazy busy this week with big solar storms, big solar flares, and a lot of radio noise on the day side. Those stories and more in the news this week. If you want to learn how weather from our star causes impacts at the Earth that shape the future of our world, join Professors Dr. Jenny Meehan, Michael Cook, and myself as we guide you through a space weather certificate program like no other. To enroll in the Space Weather and Environment Science program offered at Millersville University, go to millersville.edu/SWEN. It's weather for the 21st century. This forecast also sponsored in part by CW Ops. Our sun picks up in activity this week in a big way. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, we say goodbye to region 34, 86, and 87, but we'll return to those regions because they are growing on the sun's far side. Meanwhile, as we look at the rest of the disk, you can see a few filaments that look like they're going unstable, like those there and this one here in the north. Plus, we've got this one here in the south, and keep your eye on it because this one actually did launch as a solar storm on the 22nd. In fact, it even got some involvement from this region in here, so it was kind of a two-parter solar storm. Whoosh, right there, there it goes. And as we take a look at our coronagraph, you can actually see the signature here. It's not really a partial halo. It looks like this one's going to go mainly south of Earth, but that's the first part of it. That's the filament that left the disk here. Now, as we continue pushing that forward, look at this second little miniature kind of signature here. This signature is from the region 3489 that's behind it right now. This one might actually clip us a little bit, but this one's probably not going to be that big a deal. It may hit us sometime around the 26th, but it's mainly because this region 3489 continues to be active. It is a big flare player, but believe it or not, it's not the only one. It's not even the ones that we're really watching. Of course, the ones that we're watching is this massive mess of over here. Believe it or not, just over the last few days, we now have 11 active regions in Earth view, and man, is this set of regions kind of clustered and busy and crowded and angry. In fact, region 3490 and 3492, these are the regions that we're watching. They have been firing solar flares and solar storms on the sun's far side. They are big flare players, so expect that risk for radio blackouts, maybe up to even an R3 level radio blackout, increase over the next few days. Likely something is going to let loose here pretty soon. I don't know if it's going to be, it's going to rotate into the Earth strike zone before we get a big solar storm launch or a big solar flare. But amateur radio operators and emergency responders, expect the noise on the bands to be pretty intense. Expect that to continue because we even have more regions that are going to be rotating into Earth view here over the next few days. In fact, as we take a look at our JSOC HMI helioseismology far-sighted viewer, we can see this is the Earth-facing disk in gray here. This has been over about the past week, but in gold is where we see the stuff rotating to the sun's far side. And this is where I get back to talking about region 34, 86, and 87, because those are the regions that rotated to the sun's far side. And along with region 34, 72, and 74, these regions are the ones that have actually already rotated to the Earth side again. You'll see them kind of popping out back in the gray. That's what all this cluster of junk is. It's old region 3472 and 3474, plus a whole bunch of new regions are kind of coming up and emerging all around it. So these ones actually gave us trouble last rotation, and now they're back again with a vengeance. So we shall see what comes from these regions. We might finally get some more activity. It'll finally start looking more like solar maximum. Plus we have regions 3479 and 3477, and there we go, 3487. So these regions too are all growing on the sun's far side. We could get even more solar flux boost over the next week or two, and I guarantee you big radio bursts are back on the menu, and so likely are solar storms. And no sooner than I said that, then we have to take a look at the east limb of the sun. Wait for it. You'll see a brightening. Whoosh! Right there. Do you see that? And then followed by pow! And again, pow! There were 3 different solar storms launched, and that gave us an R1 level radio blackout for quite some time, and then a couple other pops after that. But believe it or not, we are still dealing with big solar storm potential because these regions are still very, very active. We do even have a filament that looks like it might go here soon, plus new regions rotating into view and emerging at the same time. So this means activity is definitely going to stay quite busy over this next week, and it looks like big solar flares, including R3 level radio blackouts and solar storms, are going to be on the menu. In fact, as we take a look at our M-flare threat meter, look at the X-ray flux, watch it rise and rise and rise. We did get a few M-class flares over this past week, but really all of the activity has really kind of focused as we've ramped up. Look at this floor, this noise floor. We are way above the sea floor now, sitting at about a C5 level. That's just the noise level. So amateur radio operators and emergency responders, I guarantee you, you're dealing with a lot of noise on the bands right now on the Earth's day side. And you can see we got a pop up here. This was the R1 level radio blackout and a couple other pops. Those were the solar storms that launched eastward of Earth. So we're going to be getting a lot more of these. We do have risk for an R3 level radio blackouts, and GPS users, definitely near dawn and dusk, stay vigilant because your GPS reception may not be all that good. Now, switching to our solar storm conditions, well, we were expecting a hit from a big solar storm on the 19th and 20th, but as you can see, it was pretty much a fizzle. We stayed at unsettled conditions and didn't really go much from there. However, there was this fast solar wind chaser that we were expecting. Wasn't expecting all that much from that, and instead, bam! Do you see that? We got hit by a stronger fast wind, and which kind of made up for the solar storm fizzle. In fact, it bumped us to storm levels and kept us storming for almost over a day. And that brought some gorgeous aurora views clear down to Austria and Germany. We even had aurora clear down in Kansas in the United States. It was pretty crazy. So aurora photographers, well, they managed to get a bit of a show just a little bit later than they expected. So that was a good thing. And now we're basically sitting at unsettled conditions, and those conditions will continue over the next day or two until about the 25th, when we're expecting to get that glancing blow from that solar storm that's going basically south of us. But it could bump us up to active conditions, so aurora photographers, get ready for that, especially at high latitudes. And with all this new activity that we're seeing, guaranteed the chances for Earth-directed solar storms over this week and the next are going to be high. So what else does our sun have in store for us this week? Well, let's return to the disk and take a look at all of the active regions in Earth view, because man, there sure are a lot of them, and we've got some new regions popping up all the time. In fact, the ones that we really want to watch is this cluster right here. This is because this is where the X-flare players are. So as we begin to blow that region up, you can see especially region 3490 and region 3492. These are going to be the regions to watch this week. The reason why is because they've got a lot of magnetic mixing. You can see the different colors here. This shows that there's a lot of magnetic orientations that are kind of opposite of each other, and that makes these regions really angry and unstable. So 3490, you'll see a few things growing in here, and you can see region 3492 giving us trouble, and also a lot of new activity there, and all of the little lightning bolts that you see, that is showing the all this changing and magnetic reconfiguration going on. So these regions are growing quite quickly, and they're very unstable, so we could definitely see lots of like R3 level radio blackouts and big solar storms. And these regions are beginning to rotate into the Earth strike zone over this next day or two, so expect more solar storms and solar flares to be on the menu. Now, returning to that solar storm that was launched back on the 22nd, we take a look at our solar storm prediction model, NLUL. Now, this is NOAA's version of the model. The top panel's density, the bottom panel's velocity. You're looking down at the sun from the North Pole, with Earth being off to the right. Now, as we set this solar storm model in motion, you'll see that solar storm being launched mainly to the east of Earth and also to the south of Earth. But take a look at this little lip right here. Do you see that? That is the northwesternmost part of the solar storm that was launched back from region 3489. Do you remember in that coronagraph, I showed a second part of the solar storm coming out? Right, that's it. And sure enough, it looks like it's going to hit Earth just a little bit. NOAA has impact time just slightly in the afternoon on the 25th, but this solar storm is also going to be followed by a fast wind chaser. This is some fast solar wind that's coming afterwards. So expect storming to definitely pick up by the 26th. We could be storming from like midday to late on the 25th into the 26th. And the last time we had a fast wind chaser, the wind was stronger than expected, so that may happen again. So aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you can definitely expect a show, and aurora photographers at mid latitudes, well, get ready. We might just have some surprise aurora even at mid latitudes. Switching to our moon, we are now passing through the first quarter phase on our way to a full moon, with a full moon being on the 27th. So you night sky watchers, if you want to catch those dim objects in the sky, like, I don't know, maybe some aurora, well, you're going to have this bright companion to deal with, so you're going to need to check your local rise and set times. And now switching to our solar storm conditions and aurora possibilities over the coming week, we are anticipating that solar storm, that glancing solar storm blow to hit us sometime late on the 25th, followed by a fast wind chaser. So at high latitudes, NOAA's expecting active to minor storm conditions with up to about a 20 or possibly 35% chance of major storm conditions. It's kind of hard to tell this far out when we're forecasting that far out. We'll see if the models end up being revised a little bit and give us a little bit more accurate prediction. But aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you definitely could get a chance. Plus, we have so many new active regions in Earth view, there's going to be more chances for solar storms, guaranteed. Now, at mid-latitudes, well, we're only expecting unsettled conditions, but we could jump up to active conditions around the 26th. And again, the reason for this has to do with the fact that we've got that fast wind chaser along with that solar storm glancing blow. So you might get a chance for some aurora views. It's going to be hard to tell, but stay vigilant, because again, we could have big solar storms on the way here over this week and possibly even next. Now, switching to our solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook over the coming week, we have so many active regions in Earth view that it's pumping our solar flux clear up into the 190s. In fact, over this next week, we might actually pop up into the 200s, believe it or not. We are sitting at moderate noise on the bands, and this is mainly due to regions 3490 and 3492. But we do have even more new regions that are going to be rotating into Earth view that have already proven themselves as big flare players. So expect that moderate noise to stay pretty high. In fact, NOAA's giving us about a 55% chance of M-class flares. This is at an R1 to R2 radio blackout, and even a 10% chance of an R3 level radio blackout. These are the X-class flares. This is over the next 3 days. I think that there's a chance that this will even pump up a little bit more as we move into the latter part of this week. So amateur radio operators and emergency responders and GPS users, stay vigilant. And this is even possibly satellite operators, because we may be dealing with big radio blackouts that go up into the high frequency range. Just stay vigilant on Earth's day side, and know that there's going to be a lot of noise on the radio bands this week and likely next week before things begin to calm down. Now, switching to our radiation storm and polar aviation outlook over the coming week, everything is in the green right now, but likely this is going to change. We are at the D1 normal range, and this is at flight level 360 for you aviators, which is also the S0 quiet range for everyone else. We do have about a 5% chance of radiation storm at an S1 to S2 level, but as the week continues, that is easily going to rise. As we get close to the end of this week, we will easily be 10%, possibly 15% chance for radiation storms because of all the new big flare players that have been rotating and emerging on the Earth-facing disk. So everything is okay for you frequent flyers and you air crew right now and the high-risk passengers, but definitely stay tuned to your space weather forecasts and those ICAO advisories, because they are coming out quite quickly. So the space weather this week is getting more active by the minute. We have a lot of new regions either emerging or rotating into Earth view, and that means we need to stay on our toes this week. Now, we do have an Earth-directed solar storm that's going to give us a glancing blow right maybe midday on the 25th and into the 26th. And with that fast solar wind that's a chaser, we definitely could be getting aurora shows, especially at high latitudes. And now, aurora photographers, if you're at mid-latitudes, well, last time we had some fast solar wind, it actually gave us a better show than we anticipated. So you, even down at mid-latitudes, might get some sporadic shows, so stay at the ready. Plus, with all these new active regions in Earth view and beginning to rotate into the Earth strike zone, we definitely have a higher chance for getting more Earth-directed solar storms both this week and next week before things calm down. Now, amateur radio operators and emergency responders, well, we're dealing with an incredible amount of noise on the radio bands this week, and that's going to be a problem for radio propagation on Earth's day side. On top of that, we're dealing with the chance for these big radio blackouts. You're probably going to see a lot of them, possibly up to that R3 level. So you're going to just have to deal with that and hunker down for the next week or two, possibly before things begin to settle back down, or do some propagation, do some DXing on the night side. And now you GPS users, well, things aren't looking too good for you either. Right now, the dawn and dusk regions are likely a really hazardous time to get decent reception. And on the night side, when that glancing solar storm comes, you might have to deal with some aurora problems. So stay away from aurora, stay away from the dawn-dusk terminators, and be very vigilant on the day side, because that radio noise is just a killer. I'm Tamitha Skov, the Space Weather Woman. Thank you for watching.
Okay, thank you, Tamitha. Isn't she a hoot? She's such a live wire. VK3 EKH, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, returning. And that's just been listening to the latest from Tamitha. And all very good. Okay, so we'll shoot across to spaceweather.com, and I do have a very similar image that Tamitha just showed. There it is. It's the latest disk of the sun, according to spaceweather.com. There's quite a lot of activity going on there, quite a number of sunspot activity happening. and the solar wind is currently at 351.9 kilometers a second at a density of 3.96 protons per cubic centimeter. And as you can see, there's a bunch of sunspots there. Current sunspot number is 176, and the radio sun is measured at a wavelength of 10.7 centimeters, is currently at 174 solar flux units. And there's a very, very weak, currently a very weak auroral ring over Antarctica. Not terribly strong at the moment. Okay, and also there is a GIF image here of a solar flare event, and let me just click on that. What this is, a sharp increase, as Timothy was just saying, a sharp increase in solar activity. Over the past week, sunspot numbers have increased almost tenfold, with dozens of dark cores now present on the solar disk. It is no surprise that the solar activity has sharply increased as well. Just today, multiple overlapping CMEs have billowed away from the sun, as Timothy was saying. And in this image on the screen right now, you can see this billowing effect. Analysts will have to spend some time unraveling these clouds to determine their trajectories. However, a NASA model already suggests one may be heading for Earth. The first bright southerly CME shown in the movie above could hit our planet's magnetic field during the late hours of November 25. So stay tuned for updates on spaceweather.com. Quite amazing. And getting back just briefly to this asteroid that's going to occult Betelgeuse, spaceweather.com actually has some vision here, which I'll bring up. There it is. Those watching YouTube, and actually, is my YouTube still running? Let me have a quick look. Yep, it is. Okay, good. This asteroid that you're seeing here on the screen, this asteroid is heading for Betelgeuse. Astronomers are excited, as mentioned before. On December 12, dark asteroid 319 Ileana will pass directly in front of Betelgeuse, allowing observers to make a crude map of the giant star's surface. In this image here, we've got a Bill Williams of Florida is monitoring the asteroid's approach. This, what you're seeing on the screen at the moment, is a 2-hour GIF animation. Shows 319 Ileana en route to Betelgeuse on Sunday morning, November 19, says Williams. He says, "At first I was shocked at the paltry sky motion of the asteroid, covering only 37 arc seconds in 2 hours, which is way too slow to make it to Betelgeuse 3.5 degrees away by December the 12th. But he says, not to worry. He says, I've double checked with the IAU Minor Planet and Comet Emphyrus for 319 Ileana, and found a marked acceleration across the sky in the next several weeks. So the occultation will definitely happen. The question is, who can observe it? If predictions are correct, Betelgeuse will disappear only inside a narrow corridor stretching from Central Asia and Southern Europe to Mexico and Florida, as mentioned before. So that would be quite something to focus your telescope on, if you had the chance to see that. All right, where's my camera? There it is. What else can I say on this? KP index, the planetary K index. Now, currently, KP is equal to 1.33, which is considered quiet. The 24-hour max KP figure is going to be 1.67, which is also considered as quiet. And as far as potentially hazardous asteroids go, as of November the 24th, there were 2,349 potentially hazardous asteroids. And there was a mightily good meteorite burn up over Perth skies, I think it was, the other day. In fact, if I had have thought about that, I would have tried to find that video footage. But yeah, it was a pretty decent meteorite that burned up in the upper atmosphere, caught on security cameras around the place just the other day. You've been listening to another report, another news session from VK3EKH, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria. We thank you for listening to tonight and watching tonight's session. We do apologise for the RF issues that we had. I've got to investigate why that linear has played up. It could be a number of things, because I was in trying to find this earth hum leak problem. I was disconnecting a whole string of things. And it could very well be that I've wired the linear back up in some incorrect fashion. So I'll need to have a serious look at that. In the meantime, it's 7 past the hour, so I shall take a quick listen on 3541 to see if any stations are wishing to check in on the callback as such. This is VK3EKH listening. All right. There was a station just at the beginning that suddenly dropped off. I didn't quite get the call sign. VK3 something. What was it? Try again. Oh, looks like he's had a failure too. All right. You'll call him in a minute. VK5KKT, have a say. VK3EKH. Yeah, thanks, Ian. VK5KKT, VK3EKH returning, not a problem at all. You're basically 5 and 9 here with the lightning crashes, and but basically quite audible. So thanks, Ian, for that signal report. And yes, I'm running barefoot at the moment, so but I'm looking at my power meter over behind me, and it's not reading right. I think I've got the in and out back to front for a start, so that's another story. But I'll take a look at that later. No worries. Thank you, Ian. VK5KKT, two worlds, two worlds, that is, not two worlds. Across to you there, Graham, up at Bendigo, VK3BDA, the official call there of the Bendigo District Astronomical Society. Have a say, Graham. Yeah, no problems. Graham, VK3BDA in good old Bendigo. VK3EKH returning excellent stuff. And it sounds like had a interesting little dinner there of some sort. So it's all very, very good indeed. And what was I going to say? And signal reports are hovering around the 20 over 9. So you're coming through pretty loud and clear too in this location, doing very well indeed. In fact, so I'm only running barefoot. The linear's playing up, so only 100 watts or so at the moment, but that's okay. Stations are still hearing me. That's the important thing. Anyway, thanks, Graham. And yes, I was wondering about that Mars time as well. Like I say, I wouldn't be surprised at the where they set up for doing monitoring the various rovers on Mars and all those probes. They all probably have dedicated clocks that are running on Mars time, so they know exactly what's going on. Very good. Okay, thanks, Graham. And now it's across, I think it's Peter, VK3BSF. I haven't heard you for a while. VK3EKH.
YouTube broadcast went well. Catch up with you again. I've been busy Fridays. I've been watching the cricket. All the live basketball and all that stuff on Fridays, and that's sort of tapered off for the moment. And so that's the reason I haven't been on. But good to hear you. VK3KH, VK3BSF.
Yeah, good on you, Pete. Oops. VK3BSF, VK3EKH, good 30 over 9 here. Signal coming in from Narrewarren North. And isn't it raining right now? It's absolutely heavy as I can hear it outside on the tin roof. And I think looking at the radar at the moment, we're into the thick of some heavy downfall here at the moment. But there's no thunder and lightning associated with it, so thank God for that. All right, now there was another station that called in at the very beginning. It doubled with, I think, Ian. I'm not sure who that might have been, but try again. VK3 EKH listening. Yeah, have a say, Frank. Good on you, Frank. VK3JR, VK3EKH. Very good. Excellent. Not a problem. That's all right, because I really do need to get to bed early. I'm just absolutely zipped out tonight. Eyes are out here. I didn't have time to make a cup of coffee, so I've been relying on just a glass of cold water. That's okay. I'm still awake. Anyway, thanks, Frank. And yes, Tamitha was pretty excellent at the 16 minutes. She's pretty good at telling us about what's going on. So very good source for that information. It's good that she does what she does. So excellent stuff indeed. All right. Thanks, Frank. And is there any other stations wishing to check in? VK3 EKH. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for joining in tonight. Much appreciated. All the folks there on the Discord chat window. Steve, VK3SPX, I can see you there. Martin, VK7JH, a bit too noisy on 80 for me down here, he says. Okay, understand that. Graham, VK3GRK. Who else is there? Richard, VK3VRS. And I think that's about all I can see there on the Discord chat window. And of course all the folks that sent me various emails. Thanks very much, Lee. And yep, no worries. All right, all noted. This has been VK3EKH, Clint Jeffrey, VK3CSJ on the microphone. Thank you very much for listening to tonight's session. Again, apologies for the RF problems. If it's not audio, it's RF. We'll get it right one day, but at least the YouTube has hung in there. Cheers, everyone. Take care. There'll be a broadcast Sunday morning, the WYA broadcast. I broadcast the ATV version of the WI broadcast on the Melbourne TV repeater, VK3RTV, where I am at the moment, and that's 10:30 on Sunday morning, and then repeated 8 o'clock Sunday night on the repeater. And of course, I'm now also doing a 160 meter AM transmission on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. So I'm trying to get signal reports for the 160 meter AM session. So if anybody's listening and can have a listen Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, 1825 kilohertz AM. Let us know how well you're receiving the signal. It finishes right on REC when the REC broadcast starts on the FM repeater, so you're not really missing anything. Anyway, enough of that. Cheers, everyone. Take care. Look after yourselves and try and have a nice weekend. This is VK3EKH concluding transmissions for tonight on 3541 and via the Melbourne TV repeater. And we shall say very much good evening to you all. VK3EKH clear.
VK3GL.
Thanks, Graham. Oh, you just calling in?
I've actually only just got clear of some work commitments, so and I hadn't even had the radio on, so I missed the entire session tonight. I'm sorry, Clint. So I thought I'd just pop in and put in an apology over.
It's okay. You're forgiven. The K3GL. VK3CSJ, now CSJ. I better change that. Hang on a sec. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. And I think I've got another one here. Where is it? This one here. No, not that one. Where's my other ID? There, that'll do. Yeah, no worries, Graham. Thanks for calling in anyway. A good signal from you. Looks like 80 metres has been firing very well tonight. So I'm glad for that. Despite the lightning static and all the rain that's falling around the place. So yeah, all very good. We've got 13 mils of rain so far here in the gauge. All right, VK3GL, VK3CSJ. I think it's 13. Hang on a sec. Let me just check the other setup here. Hang on a sec. Just checking the computer screen. Hang on. Coming there. Hang on a sec. Oh my God. Oh, there we are. Thank you. Took its time coming up on the screen. I don't know if you're watching YouTube or not, but I can show you. I haven't got this patched through, but this will do. Where's my camera? There it is. Alright, so that's, if you are watching YouTube, that's the the graphics of my weather station on screen there, and the current rainfall at the moment is 13.2 mil, and being refreshed just as I speak. But no, there it is, 13.2 millimeters on the Davis weather station. Go ahead, Graham. Over.
Okay, very good. VK3CSJ, VK3GL. Yes, I can see your picture on the screen. Well, we've had a bit more than that. I think 26 millimetres. It's raining here at the moment. 26 millimetres we've had this evening. Oh my God, it's going to be wet underfoot tomorrow. We've got about 70 odd people here tomorrow night for engagement party. So yeah, like I was outside trimming around the grass and that today, and getting stuff prepared. So it might be a bit wet underfoot, I reckon, tomorrow night if this doesn't sort of clear up. Well, lucky we had a good night at Ronnie Williams last night. Didn't get rained on at all. It was a lovely night. But yeah, I'm hoping that it will rain itself out by the time tomorrow night comes, and we'll have a good evening. But otherwise, if I've got 70 or 80 people here, and look, I suppose the good part about it is everything is concreted, and there's a driveway and everything now. Whereas once before, when we had something here with a number of people, we had the gravel driveway and not the asphalt. So that's one good consolation. But so you don't want that many people in and out on the deck outside and having to huddle underneath. I'd rather have them outside where we can enjoy the deck and everything, and not worry about the weather. But that remains now to be seen, I guess. Yeah. Oh, look at that. 13.4. Yeah. Mate, I have had a night from hell at work. It has just been ridiculous. And it's still going on. We've still got questions being asked. It's just dumb questions from some people offshore over in Bangalore that should know better. It's just unbelievable tonight. So I don't know what to make of it. Anyway, I heard you say that your eyes are popping out of your head, so I better let you go and get some shut-eye. First, I pop up and say hello. At least it's given me a little bit of a reprieve to chat to you for a minute or so and get away from what's been coming on with the work front. Because, as I said, it's been quite incredible tonight. The amount of queries that we've had coming through. Anyway, hopefully a better day tomorrow, and I'll have an enjoyable night at Tory's engagement party. VK3CSJ, VK3GL.
Yes, VK3GL, VK3CSJ, and Kiska's on the TV. There she is, isn't she? A beautiful puss, Kiska. Aren't you a pretty puss? Kiss, kiss. Oh dear, she's giving me those eyes. Yeah. Just in case this, for those that aren't watching, I'm televising our little Kiska Cat. Kiska. On the TV, on the ATV. In full HD. All those whiskers showing up. So, yeah, I think my rain gauge is a bit blocked again, Gray. I can hear it raining outside. It's, as it says there, 5.6 mil per hour. That would probably be about right. But I would have thought the gauge there would be really clocking over right now, given the way I hear the rain at the moment. So the gauge might be a little bit blocked again. I'm gonna have to get up there and give it another clear out. I'm going to have to bring the weather station down. Where it is on the tower is just not easy to get to. So I'm going to have to bring that station down to a more manageable height above ground. But it's still raining out there. I mean, I can hear it's fairly consistent. So it's the gauge isn't really reflecting that. Although the rate is, you look at the rain rate, 4.6 millimeters per hour. So that seems to be doing something. I mean, 13.2, 13.8 now, so maybe it's okay. All right, okay, on tomorrow night, sounds like it's going to be a fairly full-on event, and enjoy your evening meal. I'll probably be just having a bit of chicken, being on the keto diet. I'm not really not able to enjoy pizzas or fish and chips or a full-on roast dinner. It's just a very basic, no-carb dinner food thing. Okay, on the folks overseas, it sounds like it's a matter of telling them to pull out the plug and reset and put it back in again. It should fix the problem. The old telco answer to fixing the problem. Major reset, just unplug it and plug it back in again. Is that what's been going on? Oh dear. Yeah, all right. Well, look, I wish you all the best for tomorrow night. Christmas for me this year is going to be a non-event. It's just has been for a while, so I don't know whether I'll be bothered with a Christmas tree, but I am looking forward to the 4 weeks off work. I've already put my leave in. My last day at work is the 17, 16, 15. I think it's the 15th of December. And I go back to work on the 15th of January. So I hope to be able to do a few things here. And I might need to make a special trip out to see Scott to get the rest of the hardware for this huge log periodic antenna that I'd love to get up in the air. So I might attempt that as well. VK3GL, VK3CSJ.
Continue on the
Yeah, no worries, Graham. VK3GL, VK3CSJ. Excellent stuff. Yeah, okay. And okay on the Robbie Williams thing too. I know the name, but I don't know what he's done. So yes, he's not one of my he's not on my radar. Talking about radar there, showing the rain there at the moment on the steering. Yeah, so anyway, it doesn't matter. But it sounds like you had a good time. That's the main thing. And there's something else happening this weekend too. There's a lot of bands performing this weekend around Melbourne, it seems. Not that I'm worried about that. I think I've given up having to go and see a band a long time ago. All right, catch you later there, Gray. Have a lovely night tomorrow night, and I'm sure you will. And hopefully the weather won't be too much of a downer this time tomorrow night. Yeah. Well, hopefully. I mean, I can see that the weather, the rain is, disappearing. It's in another half hour it'll be all gone. So it's not too much of a problem right now. All right, no worries, great, good. Thanks for calling in. VK3GL, VK3CSJ heading downstairs.